Look up. On most clear nights, a familiar face looks back at us. The moon. It is our planet's constant companion, a silent, silvery orb that has inspired wonder for as long as humans have gazed at the heavens. It pulls on our oceans, creating the tides. It lights up our nights, a beacon in the vast darkness of space. For millennia we saw it only as a distant light, a god or a destination for dreams. But the moon is a world in its own right, a place of stark beauty, covered in fine gray dust and pockmarked by craters from impacts that happened billions of years ago. It has no air to breathe, no water flowing on its surface, and it experiences extreme temperatures, baking hot in the sun and freezing cold in the dark. This celestial body is not just a pretty object, it is a fundamental part of our cosmic neighborhood. The moon is about a quarter of the size of Earth, and it orbits our planet from an average distance of about 239,000 miles. Think about that distance. It's far enough that you could fit all the other planets in our solar system between the Earth and the moon. Yet, it is close enough that we can see its features, its dark seas, or Maria, and its bright highlands, with just a simple telescope. This proximity makes it a uniquely accessible piece of the cosmos, a stepping stone to the stars, and a record of our solar system's ancient past, preserved in the stillness of its airless environment. For centuries, the moon was a canvas for our imagination. We saw a man in it, or a rabbit, or other figures depending on our culture. We told stories about it, wrote poems about it, and wondered what it would be like to stand on its surface and look back at our own blue planet. It seemed impossibly far away, a place of pure mystery. But then, something changed. Science and technology grew, and our curiosity propelled us forward. We began to see the moon not just as a light in the sky, but as a destination. A place we could actually go, a world waiting to be explored by human hands and human ingenuity. The knowledge we have gathered has transformed our understanding. We know the moon was likely formed from debris left over after a giant object, perhaps the size of Mars, collided with a young Earth. This violent birth left it geologically quiet, a world without the volcanoes and shifting continents we have here. Its silence and stillness are profound, but does this quiet mean it is empty? Does it mean it is uninhabited? Or could its silent, cratered plains be hiding something extraordinary, a secret kept from the billions of people who look up at it from the world below? The question itself sparks the imagination. So, what if there was a secret base on the moon? Close your eyes and picture it. It wouldn't be a simple tent or a cabin. It would have to be an incredible feat of engineering, designed to protect its inhabitants from the harsh lunar environment. The base would likely be built underground, perhaps within one of the moon's vast lava tubes, natural caves left behind by ancient volcanic flows. This would shield it from micrometeoroid impacts and the intense, unfiltered radiation from the sun. The entrance might be disguised, hidden in the permanent shadow of a deep crater where sunlight never reaches, making it nearly impossible to spot from Earth or from orbiting satellites. Inside this hidden outpost, life would be a delicate balance of science and survival. Large, self-contained biodomes could house gardens, growing food under artificial lights that mimic the sun. Water would be the most precious resource, recycled with near-perfect efficiency, or perhaps extracted from ice deposits thought to exist in those permanently shadowed craters. Power would likely come from vast solar arrays deployed on the surface, or maybe even a small next-generation nuclear reactor buried deep beneath the rock. The inhabitants, scientists, engineers, and explorers would live and work in a self-sufficient world, a tiny bubble of Earth life on another world. Who would build such a place, and why would they keep it a secret? The builders would have to be a nation, or a coalition of nations, with immense resources and technological prowess. Perhaps it's a government that wants a strategic advantage, a place to conduct research or observe Earth without anyone knowing. Imagine the possibilities for astronomy from the moon's far side, shielded from all the radio noise of our planet. Or maybe it's not a government at all. What if a private corporation, a visionary billionaire with dreams of space, built it to mine for rare resources like helium-3, a potential fuel for clean fusion energy? The reasons for secrecy are as compelling as the base itself. A secret base could be a safe haven, a backup plan for humanity in case of a catastrophe on Earth. It could be a place to study alien technology, if such a thing were ever discovered, away from public panic and political interference. The very act of keeping it secret would be a monumental task, requiring control over information and a level of coordination that is hard to fathom. but the desire for knowledge, for power, or for survival can be a powerful motivator, pushing humanity to achieve the seemingly impossible, sometimes in the open, and sometimes perhaps in the shadows. The idea of a moon base isn't just science fiction, it's rooted in a very real history of exploration. The journey began in the midst of a great rivalry between two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. This space race pushed science and engineering to their absolute limits. The Soviets achieved early victories, launching the first satellite, Sputnik, and sending the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into orbit. The cosmos seemed to belong to them. But the United States set an even more audacious goal, one declared by President John F. Kennedy, to land a man on the moon and return him safely to the Earth before the end of the 1960s. This ambition gave birth to the Apollo program. It was one of the most incredible undertakings in human history, involving hundreds of thousands of people and a commitment of immense national resources. After years of testing, of triumphs and tragedies, the moment arrived. On July 20, 1969, the Apollo 11 lunar module, named the Eagle, touched down on the Sea of Tranquility. Astronaut Neil Armstrong descended the ladder and spoke words that echoed through history. "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." For the first time, human beings walked on another world, a place that had only ever been a dream. The Apollo missions didn't stop there. A total of 12 astronauts walked on the moon between 1969 and 1972. They drove a lunar rover across its surface, collected hundreds of pounds of rocks and soil samples, and conducted scientific experiments that revolutionized our understanding of the moon's origin and history. They showed us that the moon was not made of green cheese but of rock and dust, a desolate but magnificent world. When the final Apollo mission, Apollo 17, left the moon in December 1972, humanity's direct exploration of the lunar surface came to a pause. For over 50 years, no human has returned. This long absence is one of the key reasons some people wonder what might be happening up there. We proved we could go, so why haven't we been back to stay? The official reasons are complex, involving high costs, shifting political priorities, and a focus on other space endeavors like the Space Shuttle and the International Space Station. But for some, this long silence feels suspicious. It creates a vacuum that the imagination rushes to fill with tantalizing possibilities, including the idea that our official exploration was just the beginning of a much more secret story. Why are we so captivated by the idea of a secret moon base? I think it's because humans are explorers by nature, but we are also storytellers. We are drawn to the unknown, to the possibility that there is more to the universe than what we see. A hidden base on the moon taps into this deep-seated desire for mystery. It combines our fascination with space exploration with the thrill of a conspiracy, the idea that a world-changing secret is being kept just out of our sight. It's a narrative that makes the universe feel more exciting, more filled with hidden wonders and grand secret purposes that we are not yet privy to. This fascination is fueled by blurry photographs, strange radio signals, and testimonies from people who claim to have inside knowledge. The internet allows these ideas to spread like wildfire, connecting dots, real or imagined, to form a compelling picture. People point to unexplained anomalies in NASA photos or strange shapes in craters as potential evidence. While most of these can be explained by natural geological formations, tricks of light and shadow, or even imperfections in the camera lens, the possibility that one of them could be real is a powerful hook for the curious mind. It's the cosmic equivalent of searching for a hidden treasure. So could a secret moon base actually exist? As a scientist, I must be guided by evidence. The scientific principle known as Occam's razor suggests that the simplest explanation is often the correct one. Building, supplying, and hiding a base on the moon would be an undertaking of almost unimaginable complexity and expense. Hiding the launches, the communications, and the thermal signature from our powerful telescopes and the prying eyes of other nations would be next to impossible. The simplest explanation for the lack of evidence is that there is no secret base there to be found. But that doesn't mean we should stop asking the question. The truth is, we are on the verge of returning to the moon. NASA's Artemis program plans to land the first woman and the next man on the lunar surface, with the goal of establishing a sustainable, long-term presence. Other nations and private companies have their own lunar ambitions. The next chapter of our moon story is about to be written, and while a secret base from the past is highly improbable, A public, international base in the future is almost a certainty. The moon is waiting for us, not as a secret to be kept, but as a world to be explored together, as we continue our species' great journey into the cosmos.